Joined in the studio by former Special Branch Officer and now Security Advisor Chris Cully. Good to see you, Chris. Your reading then of how the authorities made their moves to bring these two hostage situations to an end.
A very complicated situation. It would appear from what we're hearing that the two groups of terrorists, for want of a better word, were in communication with one another. That causes huge problems for the police because they're having to deal with two incidences that may go live at the same time. Clearly something forced their hand that they made the decision to go in when they did. I think they've handled it quite well. Unfortunately, 4 hostages have been killed. But such is the nature of these events because nobody can manage them accurately. Very difficult situation.
So you think they've dealt with it well?
Of face value, from what we've seen so far, I think it could have been a lot worse. I think the police seem to have had their hands forced and have not been able to have the luxury of a little more time to get things in place as they would have wanted. It seems to have gone loud very quickly.
What do you think it means for us here? Because our terror alert is still at its second highest level.
Yep. I think that I'm sure that the police and the intelligence services in the UK will have wide open communications with their colleagues in France, the rest of Western Europe, the Americans. Everybody will be reviewing their watch lists to see who possibly may go into the same format as these characters have. Everybody will be focusing on what they can do and how quickly they can respond, who is where and who is doing what. A very busy time for all of them.
And looking, as many people have over the past couple of days, at how professional they seemed, you think that signifies that others will be watching closely?
Yeah, these guys, clearly when you saw them attack Charlie Hebdo, they came out, they were quite calm, they seemed to be able to use the weapons. They quite calmly assassinated a police officer in the street. There was no panic or rush. We've had French witnesses describe them as being very calm, very quiet, obviously well trained, and whoever's trained them, and there's speculation that that could be Al-Qaeda or anybody else. There's more to come, I think.
Well, a report today, as one individual apparently left this print works that they then got holed up in, saw these men approaching, thought they were police officers, and only realised they weren't when they said to him, "We don't kill civilians."
It gives a perfect example of how calm and how professional these guys were, that a member of the public mistook them for police officers or members of the security forces. They've obviously been well trained, and the worry is how many more of them are about and if we have them here.
Well, that's it. We hear a lot, and we've seen lone wolf attacks in Ottawa and Sydney, but this seems different. Does this mark an increase of activity from the likes of Al-Qaeda in the Arabian Peninsula?
Possibly. I mean, France certainly in the last 6 or 7 weeks has had more than its fair share of problems, culminating in this terrible event. But this was not a lone wolf. This appears to be 3, possibly 4. If the reports we're hearing of a lone gunman that might have escaped, possibly 5, working in concert with one another, well orchestrated, well planned, separated to divide the police forces, so they've got 2 separate venues to look at. Highly thought out, highly executed by these guys.
Chris, thank you very much indeed.
My pleasure.